I'm Gabriella Brezzi, and this is Catholic Central.
This morning, 4 people have come to us to open up about how Jesus has expressed redemptive love, and one bystander who opposes Jesus' redeeming qualities.
During the week, we interviewed these 4 people and received their views on Jesus' redemptive love. Let's play it back.
Today we are here with Pontius Pilate, the authorizer for Jesus' trial and crucifixion. Pilate is here to express his thoughts and answer a few questions regarding Jesus' redeeming love shown towards him at a time of seemingly unforgivable circumstances. Without further ado, let's hear what Pilate has to contribute respecting the events of Jesus' trial, crucifixion, and after the death of Jesus.
Well, thank you for having me, Miss Bennett. Jesus was a caring and loving man who came to serve and teach the people. Although most leaders and priests, including myself, did not appreciate Jesus' intentions, it essentially leads to his crucifixion. At the time of his trial, I had the important decision of making agreement with the audience present who desperately wanted Jesus killed, or to side with my conscience since I knew that Jesus was an innocent man. Unfortunately, from fear of a rebellion, I had to accept the wishes of the citizens and condemn Jesus to crucifixion.
You were definitely left between a rock and a hard place, Pilate. How did you overcome this unjust act of sentencing Jesus to death, even though you knew he was innocent?
This inequitable situation that I put Jesus in has left me feeling responsible and afflicted, but I had no choice. After the death of Jesus, I decided to withdraw from my position of a cruel and militarized leader and rather lead through compassion and care for others.
So Jesus has redeemed your tyrannical rule and redeemed you by giving you the purpose to rule through goodness?
Yes, I believe that Jesus has shown me mercy and given me immense love, even though I was the cause for the end of his teaching ministry.
Well said, Pilate. Thank you for agreeing to participate in this interview and leave our viewers with a renewed view on your struggles to either appease the majority or help the minority. I'm Holly reporting from Catholic Central.
Hello, Catholic Central viewers. Today we welcome Mary Magdalene, who was a devoted follower of Christ, but had came from a troubling past before making the transition to welcome the love of Jesus. Mary has agreed to open up to our audience to reveal her hardships and incredible love, mercy, and redemption Jesus shows toward her in her time of despair. The woman in the parable of the woman taken into adultery was Mary, who had made a wrong choice and succumbed to the temptation that faced her.
Unfortunately, Miss Brezzi, I was the woman who sold herself that night for prostitution. At the time I knew the temptation to obtain the money in turn for my body was wrong, but I made the rash decision to do so, and the consequences were unimaginable.
What do you mean by unimaginable? What did the authorities decide to punish you with after you had committed the act of adultery?
Authorities, which were primarily chief priests and Pharisees, along with their temple guards, made the becoming decision to stone me, since in their eyes I was committing such a mortal sin and chose to not show me any mercy.
In the moment, did you recognize that Jesus was in your midst and had the power to possibly help you?
It occurred to me that Jesus was amongst the people who had become onlookers to this horrible punishment. Unlike the leaders, Jesus chose to show me mercy and put an end to what was happening before they had the chance to stone me. The statement Jesus made that really resonated with me was, "Let anyone among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." This short statement showed the love and redemption I was hoping for such an immortal act. All the leaders who were standing there prepared to stone me had too committed sins and were not perfect. Therefore, I should not have been punished, but rather reprimanded and pardoned.
Wow, it seems as though Jesus was your Savior that day that was looking over you to keep you safe and help you. What do you do after walking away from this terrifying day that could have killed you?
After walking away from my scheduled stoning that could have ended my life from being beaten to death, I felt like I owed my life to Jesus. Therefore, I made it my mission to follow him as one of his devout followers and believe in all that he had to say. He was the most loving man who did not want to be looked at as a military leader, but rather a caring friend, servant, and merciful man to all those around him. These admirable qualities led me to be by his side to his last moments, even before and after his crucifixion. His redeeming love changed me for the better, and I am forever in debt to him for this.
It sure seems as though Jesus has truly changed your life forever by doing such a small act as defending you, but having such a paramount impact on the consciences of the leaders and the outcome of your life. I'm Gabriella Brezzi, and I thank you, Mary, on behalf of Catholic Central, for being part of this interview.
Hello, Catholic Central viewers. Today, I'm here with one of Judas's companions who explained Judas as the supposed best friend and apostle of Jesus, who betrayed him at a crucial moment in his life, which essentially led to Jesus' crucifixion. Judas's companion has agreed to be interviewed on behalf of the recently deceased Judas, which we'll also be addressing during this interview. So let's get to it.
Judas was a great friend of Jesus's who would have never thought to have fallen into the temptation of bribery in order to lead the officials to Jesus to have him taken to be prosecuted and killed. Jesus had captivated Judas during the beginning of his ministry as a teacher in Nazareth.
If Judas was such an intimate friend of Jesus, why did he choose to betray him then? Did he have a motive?
Although I was never able to ask Judas directly about his choice to betray Jesus, he had alluded to a few possibilities before he died. Since Judas was the bearer of money during his time, instead of the money being put towards the poor, it was once used to buy expensive anointing oils for Jesus, and this enraged Judas. Therefore, when the officials came to Judas with the offer of 37 pieces of silver in request for his help in betraying Jesus, he may have used this resentment as a motive to go through with the act of tuning Jesus in.
Those motives are quite valid, but why did Judas kill himself after attaining the end result that he wanted of having Jesus killed?
Having made penance with the officials and the money he was given, Judas sorrowfully chose to hang himself as a sacrifice for the life he had taken of his dear friend Jesus. In a way, this whole scene shows Jesus' love for Judas, since he did not refuse but accepted the betrayal from his best friend, and still told his apostle to not hurt the officials who were taking him away, but instead turned the other cheek. This total forgiveness of Judas made him feel compelled to sacrifice his life, just as he had sacrificed Jesus for his foolish fears.
Thank you so much for accepting the offer to be interviewed on behalf of the deceased Judas, because you have answered many topics regarding Judas's thoughts behind the betrayal and his death that have remained unanswered until now.
After listening to all three of our special guests in this exclusive interview segment, we at Catholic Central have been able to confirm Jesus' loving redemption that all three of these interviewees have received. Although Jesus has helped a myriad of people throughout his ministry on earth, there is always an opposition that does not accept the teachings and miracles Jesus has performed. The opposition is being represented here today by one of the crowd members who was present at Jesus' trial before he was condemned. It is my pleasure to introduce the leader of the Pharisees, who has agreed to share his opinion on Jesus' teachings and expressions of redemptive love.
It is my pleasure to be featured in this special, to have a voice for all those people who did not accept Jesus' teachings. As a Pharisee, we believe in the Mosaic Law, or as many know it as the Torah. To have this belief, it means that we believe we are God's chosen people. With the arrival of Jesus, who was the supposed Messiah, the Pharisees were confused because we thought the Messiah would come as king, the son of David, and free us from Roman rule by establishing a kingdom on earth. Instead, Jesus came as a suffering servant who rode in on a donkey, which symbolized his humility, since he wanted to lower his divine status so that he was equal to the people of Jerusalem.
If Jesus arrived as a suffering servant, why did you not accept him? He came to not control Jerusalem, but rather to teach and instill his wisdom into those who listened.
One of the main reasons why we did not accept Jesus as a great leader who taught the people was because of our opposing views on the law. At first, we thought Jesus had come to disregard the laws we had installed and decided to replace them with his own laws and convert the people to his way of interpreting and believing. Jesus did not follow the Mosaic Law word for word, but he used it as a guide to refer to once in a while as a manual of how to worship.
Since you have all chose to strictly abide by the laws of the Torah, do you think that Jesus' miracles and acts of redemption to those who he feels is worthy is respectful to the laws you follow?
All the miracles Jesus had performed were shocking to many people, including us, and we thought it was blasphemy. To heal and help the outcast, the sick, and the lonely was unheard of, since we as Pharisees don't even acknowledge these types of people, because we believe they have been infected by sin and wrongdoing. Therefore, for Jesus to arrive and interact with these types of people, we did not appreciate it, since we worked so hard to shield our people. We were displeased with the outcome of Jesus' teaching, since it was causing many of our people to leave and follow him, so we thought it was best to have him killed in order to rid Jerusalem of him.
Well, there you have it, folks. For all those who have been wondering why the people in the crowd were so cruel and insistent that Jesus be crucified, the leader of the Pharisees has just given you an explanation. On behalf of all of us at Catholic Central, we thank you, as well as all the other people who have accepted the invitation to be interviewed.
Viewers, there you have it. All the questions that you may have had on these issues, I'm sure have been answered throughout this special segment.
All of us here at Catholic Central hope you enjoyed it and had a happy spring break and Easter. I think we were all in need of a vocation. Get it? A vocation?
Well, on that note, I'm Holly Bennett.
And I'm Gabriella Brezzi.
And this is Catholic Central.
Flaky. It's not a soft one. It's supposed to be like a crunchy.
Oh, it's perfect. I like it.
Perfect. All right, we're good.
It left Judas his conscience that he what?
And Pharisees, along with their temple guards. You can't smile.
Are you kidding me?
Shows Jesus' love for Judas.
Tyrannical.
Who opposes Jesus' redeeming qualities.
Really resonated with me.
I can see them Crocs when you move your foot.
So good! That was so good! That was the best one all day! You got my Crocs, I can be barefoot. Disgusting.
I'm like trying to go like this to not see your Crocs. Okay, are we doing that all over again?
On me, I had committed sins and were not perfect. Oh.
Break and Easter.
I felt like I owned my life. I owed
The dog run away.
that really resonated. I don't know what that word is. It stayed quiet.
3, 2, 3, go.
Go. I'm Holly Bennett.
And I'm Gabriella Brezzi. And this is Catholic Central.
Oops.
It's a long
Do I restart?
And I'm Gabriella Brezzi.
And this
Soon. I think we are all ready for a vacation. Get it?
That ending part was rough. Oh my god.